Hello and welcome to TheMan Games. This is our podcast show, is TheMan
and The Wife
Podcast. Today we are reviewing last night's NXT Vengeance Day Takeover event. So I think it was a really good show, to be honest. I enjoyed every single match, really. There's some I enjoyed more than others, but I would say it was definitely a thumbs up show in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd say it was a thumbs up show. I think I didn't enjoy every match so much as you did, but I wouldn't say it was a thumbs down, so I'd still give it a thumbs up.
So the first match on the card, it was the final of the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. It was Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon against Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai.
I
did forget the name, yeah. I was hoping you were going to quickly come and serve me, but you watched me struggle.
Yeah.
So going into this match, there was this strange tag spot that you don't see very often, where in the old days there'd be a tag made, but then the referee didn't see it, and then the heels would work over the babyface in the corner.
Yeah.
Well, they did that in this match. So Shotzi tagged in Ember Moon, but then the ref was like, no, I didn't see it, and then they stood and argued with the referee. And then Ember Moon just got back in the match. It's like, well, why don't you just tag now while the referee's there? Because she was just on the apron. I just thought
there's no need to argue about it.
Yeah, I just thought that it didn't really make any sense. You could just tag her now. Just tag her now, let her in.
Yeah.
So, other than that, I think this was a really, really good match. So Dakota Kai, she goes to the top rope and then she holds the hand of Raquel Gonzalez and she does a clothesline off the top rope. That was a really good spot.
Yeah, Gonzalez slams Shotzi Blackheart into the plexiglass at one point, and that just looked really stiff.
Yeah, really stiff.
Ember Moon goes to the top rope and does a really, really rubbish eclipse onto Gonzalez. In fact, I thought Ember Moon looked pretty crap in this match, to be honest. There was just a few spots where I just thought,
ring rusty maybe? Or...
Yeah, maybe. So then she goes to that pin, but the ref gets distracted by Dakota Kai. He doesn't count it. But yeah, that eclipse, I wasn't even sure if she did an eclipse because it just looked really, really rough. And there was a couple of things that she did as well that I just didn't think looked great.
So, Raquel accidentally hits Dakota Kai at one point with a clothesline, but then it quickly hits an eclipse. But Kai has the referee distracted, so it's not a free count. Yeah,
there's that Raquel throws Ember Moon over the top ropes onto the ramp, and then she throws her off the ramp onto the stage because the ramp's raised, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if I really like the raised ramp, but I suppose maybe they're just trying to give it a different feel than a weekly
show.
Also just before Emma got thrown off, she hits a crossbody onto Kai when she's on the shoulders of Shotzi on the outside. That was a good spot as well.
That was a good spot, yeah.
So then at the finish, Raquel she hits a powerbomb onto Shotzi, and then both her and Kai pin Shotzi Blackheart, and they get the win. This match went 17 seconds and 40 seconds. We both predicted that they wouldn't. I wanted them to win because they're a real tag team, but I didn't think they would win. So I am really pleased that they did win.
Yeah. It was a good match as well.
It was a really good match.
Just slagged off Ember Moon, but it was actually a good match.
Yeah, I did really. I thought this was they brought back the NXT opening match.
Yeah,
that they've missed in the past few takeovers, in my opinion.
Funny enough, it wasn't a men's tag team; it was a women's.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was good. Enjoyed it.
So then you see Regal present them with the cup at the top of the ramp.
They do the whole big thing, don't they? And they get emotional and all that jazz.
Yeah. It was nice to see the right team win.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Even though we predicted it wrong.
Yeah. So the next match was Johnny Gargano and Kashida. So you see Gargano is walking to the ring with Austin Theory, Candice LeRae, and I always forget the woman's name.
What is that?
Do you remember what her name is?
Is it Olivia or something?
No. I did this in the predictions. I've got a name. Damn it. Well, the other woman.
The other one. But you really like them though, but the other woman.
Yeah, I can't remember. You're not meant to know about the other woman. So they're walking into the ring and they don't realise, but Dexter Lumis takes out Austin Theory. He gets a cloth and pulls him to one side, and then when they get to the ramp, they realise
that he's not there anymore.
He's not there. Yeah, so Gargano goes into this match alone. In this match, there was a lot of working over the injured arm of Johnny Gargano. What he says was injured, but was it really injured kind of thing.
Yeah.
So going into some of the spots in the match, Gargano goes to jump over the top rope onto Kashida, but Kashida just punches him in the face. That was a good spot. Then he runs his arm into the post. That was like the first spot of like Kashida really like going through the arm.
Yeah. Johnny Gargano gets a net breaker through the ropes. That was
a good spot.
It was really good. There's one point where there's just like loads of roll ups. Did you see that? Like just really back and forth. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, there was this like a second rope like twisted suplex as well.
Yeah.
That was something you don't really see very often. And then Johnny like quickly did like a tornado DDT from the middle rope as well. Yeah. And then they both hit a clothesline at the same time, and they both slap each other across the face at the same time. I thought that was good as well. So then Gargano, he launches Kashida into the middle turnbuckle, even like eating the turnbuckle. Gargano hits his jumping like DDT onto the entrance ramp, and then he does it again like into the ring, pinning Kashida to retain his championship. This match went 24 minutes and 51 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't feel like it felt like it went that long.
No, did it?
No, we'll see with the first match really.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say, like before we get into the women's match, I kind of felt like that match you could have had 5 more minutes, definitely.
Yeah.
But we'll get onto that a bit later on. So the next match, it was the final of the men's Dusty Rhodes Classic. It was MSK against the grizzled young veterans. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not very good with the first names of MSK. Is it?
There's Nash Carter and Wesley.
So is it Wesley or is it like Wesley or something?
I thought it was Wes and Lee.
Because I thought it was Wesley, but the way they were pronouncing the name, because I wrote Wesley in my notes, but...
Well, I put like Wes, W-E-S, and then like Lee.
Right.
Like 2 words, but I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, so Gisborne.
Thought you knew the names of the Grizzled veterans.
Zach Gibson, he cuts a promo making his way to the ring. Is just a great talker. I'm kind of worried when they break up that James Drake's just going to get forgotten about, to be honest.
Yeah, because he's not the voice, yeah.
I mean, he can probably cut a promo. I think it's just because Zach Gibson's so good, is he going to, let him? But I remember he was on an episode of 205 Live one year when they're in the UK, and all the NXT UK stars got to say like a promo or something in the ring, but his promo was him saying like chew, 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 like for like a train.
Alright.
Yeah, and I just thought that's pretty crap. That why can't you let him cut like a proper promo? So I think it might have been they were doing stuff and the winner was going to get a cruiserweight title shot or something like that. I think maybe Tyler Bate won it in the end. I can't remember. That's me just guessing.
Okay.
'Cause I don't really watch 205 Live because I don't know what he does.
Ever.
Yes, so Wesley, if that's his real name, hits a dive over the top turnbuckle. Well, it's not like a dive; it's like a senton dive, isn't it? He jumps straight over the top turnbuckle. This was pretty early on in the match as well, taking out the grizzled young veterans.
Yeah. There's a point where Nash Kai gets that really hot tag when the grizzled young veterans are working over him, and he gets that hot tag. That was really good. Quite enjoyed that.
The MSK, they hit like a senton and then like a corkscrew, but Drake kicks out at 2. I thought like that could have been like a finishing spot. Really.
Wesley goes for a backflip sort of thingy. I'm not quite sure what it was, but some sort of backflip. But Zach Gibson gets him straight in the jaw in midair. That was really brutal. Lee on the shoulder of Gibson's outside the ring. Drake runs and dives through the ropes and clotheslines Lee off Gibson's shoulders. Yeah. That was really good. I really enjoyed that. There's about 600% face of it as well.
And towards the end of the match, Wesley, he hits a neckbreaker jumping off like the middle rope. But I don't even know how to explain it because he's like off the middle rope, but then like he's facing towards the crowd, but he jumps backwards and hits his neckbreaker. It's just hard to explain, but it was really good.
Yeah.
This match went 18 minutes and 26 seconds.
How long?
18 minutes and 26 seconds, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good match. I
was really disappointed about MSK winning. Not that I didn't like MSK, and something against them, I just really, really wanted Grizzled Young
especially when Grizzled Young Veterans got to the final last year, I believe, and lost as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it makes me think maybe next year they do it again, and it's a bit like we've got this far twice. This year's our year. Maybe they could do something like that.
Sort of thing. Maybe.
Yeah, it's just a bit. I suppose it makes sense in one case because obviously there's heels that have the tag team title championships at the moment.
Yeah.
So you want a babyface team to go up against them. But I kind of feel like they've kind of just forgotten about the NXT tag division in a way, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you can say what you're talking about. They're doing tag team championship tournaments like the Just Heroes Classic and that, but like we said on the predictions, there's not been a tag team championship match on a takeover since I can't remember.
Was it in your house?
No, there wasn't one in your house neither. I can't. Was it Portland? One before that?
It's not coming to the top of your head, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, since there's been no fans anyway, at least there's not been a tag team championship match, which is a bit unfortunate because obviously Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle, they had the titles, but then when COVID hit, obviously Pete Dunne couldn't get back to the country, so then Riddle had it with Thatcher somehow, and then they lost it to Imperium, which they're not really like a good established team, and they lost it to Breezango, which, like, I really like Breezango, but they've kind of fallen that far down on the card. They've got kind of like no credibility really.
Yeah.
And now Orkin and Birch have it, which should be a good thing. But then they've never really done anything with them to even just give them the squash matches and make them look really good.
Yeah,
they're just not doing anything with them. I think because they've been with Pete Dunne and Pat McAfee, maybe they don't need it. But yeah.
Can't rest your laurels, can you?
Yeah, and it's a bit crap as well. I mean, I know this is not talking about War Games, but like, I feel like Pat McAfee got a better showing than them at the War Games match.
Yeah.
And it's just like, they're your tag team champions. They're like, you know, they should be your focus, not some celebrity trying to play a wrestler kind of
thing. That's true.
So now going into the triple threat match for the women's NXT Tag Team Championship. No. The women's championship. It's because we've been talking about tag teams. So it was Io Shirai, Mercedes Martinez, and Toni Storm. Toni Storm. It's the first time I've seen this new entrance music. I think it's not as good as the first one, I don't think, but I suppose
I like what she was wearing,
I really like what she's wearing. It's maybe just new theme for a new style, a new look, a new heel persona.
Music tends to grow in it, doesn't it? I find.
Oh yeah.
Like maybe the first few times, and then you get used to it. Like, it's not that bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when Randy Orton changed his music to the I Hear Voices at first. I was like,
And now you want to stop singing it.
I won't get that far, but I mean, I still do like I really do like his original, but because like when I used to watch wrestling with my nephew when he's really small. And Randy Orton's music used to come on. It's like, I hear voices in my head. And he's like 2 or 3 walking around going, I hear voices in my head. And my sister's like, what's he going on about?
Oh, bless him. When he was small. There's a point in this match when Toni Storm goes to clear the announcer's table. And she takes 2 things off and the whole thing just collapses.
Yeah, I really felt sorry for
And she was a bit like, oh,
what
okay.
do I do now?
And then do Wade Barrett thing was like, oh yes, I did. So it was a bit wobbly early when MSK were out.
Yeah, I did feel bad for Storm because I bet she was a bit like, what do I do now?
Yeah, what?
But I don't
big
think
spot.
I don't feel like it took away from the match. I don't feel like they lost momentum or anything.
No.
But also in this match there was so Io gets a crossface on Storm. And then Martinez gets a dragon sleeper on as well. I thought that was a very cool visual in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
I really like that. Io hits a double stomp as well onto Martinez, kind of like what Del Rio used to do. That was a good spot as well.
There's a point where she climbs up the lighting, doesn't she?
Yeah, like the structure or something. I don't really know what
structure. We're not quite sure what it is.
She's just a double cross body.
Yeah.
I think Io's just one of them people that just wants to jump off things, a bit like Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon.
Yeah. So to jump off, she'll find it.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine if she has a Hell in a Cell match on the main roster?
Wow, it'd be good, wouldn't it?
Well, as long as she doesn't die, yeah.
That's true.
So yeah, back to in-ring action. Storm hit a Storm Zero, but didn't get the 3. So then she goes and hits a flying head. Well, I didn't really understand this bit because she does a flying headbutt onto Martinez, and then Io quickly does a moonsault onto Storm. Storm rolls out of the way. Io pins Martinez for the win. Thought, well, the moonsault's more devastating move than the headbutt. So, I mean, I get maybe
I thought the moonsault hit a bit of both.
Right, maybe
That's the gist I got, is that
right.
as they're both down.
Maybe it was meant to be like that, but to me it looked like it got more Storm than.
Oh, right, okay. I assume that Storm hits the flying headbutt, and then
it's meant to get both women.
No, because it's just.
No, I mean when Io
she's
meant to get both women.
Both women, and then Storm. That's how I saw it anyway.
Yeah, so. I really did enjoy this match. I think it could have gone a bit longer, especially like this for a WWE event, especially. This only went 2.5 hours as pay-per-view. So I do feel like they could have had another 5 minutes, really, but maybe they didn't want the show to be too long for reasons, and
like 2.5 hours is a good time. So like obviously,
yeah,
you don't want 2 hours 35, do you? It doesn't quite work, does it? But I just wish that Storm had won.
Yeah, I love Shirai. Like, I think we'd all been good if Martinez had won it. I just don't get them. I don't really like the Martinez character. I think she's just like a wish version of Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, not.
It's just too similar. I know we did say this in the predictions if you saw that, but I feel like she just needs to do something
different.
Yeah. Because she's kind of got like a similar look. She's got like tattoos and she's got the same presence, I would say, as a Shayna Baszler.
Yeah. She's easy to lose in the background, really, isn't she? Like, I'm not bothered by her.
Well, yeah, and it's like Shayna Baszler was such a big part of NXT for so long, and now you've got someone that's so similar. It's like, do you really want that? Like,
yeah. No, I do agree.
So next up, you saw the newest signing for NXT. It is LA Knight. So this is Eli Drake. He was in NXT before, but then I don't know if he got fired or I think he might have got released actually, and then he went to
TNA.
Impact Wrestling, yeah, TNA.
I do like it when he's like, who is it?
Wade Barrett?
No, William Regal's like, oh, welcome to NXT, as if he's never been before.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, actually.
Maybe they just try to put him over as a new character, maybe.
Oh, yeah, they definitely will be, won't they?
I do think he cut a good promo as well, saying, North American champion, world champion, I'm coming after you. But
it'll be interesting to see how he goes.
Yeah.
It must be hard coming, like, after being in and, like, leaving, that must be, and then coming back. I always think that must be hard.
Yeah. One thing I will say about this, it would have been nice for Karrion Kross to have an appearance or something at TakeOver. I think it's just a bit sad that he was the champion, then he got injured and he's come back, and they've not really. I don't know, maybe they're worried he's going to get injured again, maybe, but I feel like they've not put as much behind him as he had before.
Yeah. But they often do, don't they? Like.
Yeah, but I kind of thought it was more of like a Vince thing, not as much as a Triple H thing. But,
yeah.
Because he's been feuding with the Cruiserweight champion on NXT, and like I don't want Karrion Kross to be the Cruiserweight champion. He's just so much
better than that.
I don't want to put the Cruiserweight Championship down, but that's where they put it in your mind that it's like the lowest of the lowest. That's why I don't really have any interest in it.
Yeah.
When Jordan Devlin won it, I had interest in it, and obviously he still has his championship on NXT UK.
Yeah.
But there's only just so much wrestling in a week you can watch.
That's it. There's so much now, isn't there? Like, I feel like all you ever do is watch wrestling.
Yeah.
Or talk about wrestling or play wrestling.
Yeah.
That's your life, isn't it?
Yeah. But like, there's 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of Raw.
Whoa.
3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown, 2 hours of NXT, 2 hours of AEW, 2 hours of Impact Wrestling. Then there's an hour of NXT UK if you want to watch that. There's an hour of 205 Live if you want to watch that.
AEW Dark.
AEW Dark. I think that could even be like 2.5 hours. I don't know because there's about 15 matches on it. There's just so much wrestling at the moment, and that's not even including like Ring of Honor and New Japan and NWA and things like that. So yeah, there's not enough time in the week
to get it all done.
Yeah, and then they do like documentaries on the network, 24 specials and things, and also they were meant to be bringing back that Ruthless Aggression thing in autumn, and they never did. I just remembered.
Oh.
Do you remember watching it? It was like the Ruthless Aggression, John Cena, Batista.
Yeah.
They were meant to be bringing them back in the fall, and they never did.
Oh.
Yeah, which.
Maybe it's this fall coming.
Yeah, well, maybe, yeah. The year has been put on hold, hasn't it?
It has. It certainly has.
So now, going into the main event, it is Finn Balor defending his World Championship against Pete Dunne. Really like Pete Dunne's ring attire in this. He's so lean at the moment.
He's very lean, isn't he?
Yeah. And he seems to be like he's got like a bit of a yellow colour to his skin, I think.
No, I hadn't noticed
Yeah,
that.
like maybe it's just me, but I felt like it looked a bit yellowish at the time. Maybe he's like putting too much fake tan on or something.
Probably a fake tan issue, yeah.
Yeah, so this match was like really like hard hitting.
I didn't like this match. Like, probably a very unpopular opinion, but like I really like Finn Balor and I really like Pete Dunne, but I zoned out this match a lot.
Yeah, it kind of just didn't really get out of second gear in my opinion.
Yeah.
Even towards the end of the match, it was quite slow, but there was just quite a lot of like working over body parts and Dunne trying to break Finn's fingers a lot and things like that, which I do really like because I feel like that should be quite a popular mindset for a wrestler, because if you break someone's fingers, how are they going to do the moves on you? Like, do you know what I mean? I feel like that should be something that more wrestlers try to do. So I remember there was a match between Mr. Anderson and Ken Anderson at the time against Shawn Michaels. This was at an Armageddon, maybe like 2008 or 9 or something. And in the match, Shawn Michaels has stomped on the hand of Mr. Kennedy.
Yeah.
And then the finish of the match was he goes to punch. So he punches Michaels in the face and like, ow, my hand. And then Michaels super kicks him for the win. And like I always remember thinking that was a really good finish for a match.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because like it's so like
makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So going into spots into the match, so Dunne hits a sit down powerbomb to Finn at one point, and that was really good. He hits the bitter end on him, but he only gets a 2 count. He like stomps like Finn in the head, and then Finn seems to somehow just give him a DDT.
He does like a spin suplex thing, isn't he, Dunne onto Balor? It's like
Balor like rips the mouth guard out of Pete Dunne and then drop kicks him in the face. And like I don't know if you noticed, like Finn was like, cause Dunne's been working over his hands all the time. Finn was just like going like this all the time, which made sense until the end of the show, but we'll talk about that towards the end, obviously. And then after that, after the drop kick, after the pulling the mouth guard out, he hits the coup de grace. It's the 1916 and gets the win. So I do think there's good selling from Finn. I just kind of feel like this match could have gone into or maybe they're trying to hold out for a second match. Maybe that's why they're trying to hold back a little bit. But I feel like this match could have got into another gear. Maybe
it doesn't make me want to watch a second match. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know how, like, sometimes it does come out and, like, you think, I want to see more.
You mean, like, Omega and Paige?
Yeah, a bit like that. And like, I don't really want to see them wrestle again. Personally, but obviously...
So...
I thought you very much disagree with me there.
I just like both guys.
Oh, I do like both guys, but that's not made me want to watch another match with them, so...
Yeah. I kind of wish Dunne could have won the title sooner. Like, I know, obviously, he's not won it yet, but... When he was feuding with Adam Cole, that's when I thought, I hope this is when he wins it. So Finn's starting to go to the back, and then Larkin and Birch attack him from behind. They're in the ring. They're all beating Finn down, and then shock the system. The Yui come down. I think I had said it right then. Come down and help Balor.
Scare them off, doesn't he?
Scare them off, and then. But this is the part that annoyed me. So all the time Finn's been like this. Like even at the end of the ramp he's like this because he can't move his fingers. And then when they're standing in a row to do the Undisputed Era thing, because Finn gets in line, he manages to do
because Kyle really helps him up, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, you've been like in so much pain, but then to pose with your mates, you can do it. I just thought, if he'd have just done it like that, I think that would have been so much better.
Yeah.
And then shock. Adam Cole super kicks Finn Balor. I didn't think that was that shocking, to be honest.
Really? You like a massive gasp?
Wait. And then he super kicks Kyle O'Reilly. That's when I proper gasped. Like, I did not see that coming in a million years.
Yeah.
Like, it made me think of Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. Like, I proper, like...
You even made my notes. Sean's gasp was hilarious.
Yeah. Well, like, when he did to Balor, I was like, And then when he did to O'Reilly, I was like, like, yeah.
I think you don't see what happens when, so, like, Adam Cole leaves the ring, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he's saying to, is Roderick Strong?
Roderick Strong, not
like,
Bobby Fish, like you said earlier on.
Yeah, I was trying to think which one it was. Like, come on, and you see him, he's like stuck in the ring. He doesn't know what to do, does he?
He's torn.
Mm.
Yeah, I kind of think Strong's gonna side with Cole there, because then you can do the tag match.
Yeah.
Of Cole and Strong against Balor and O'Reilly.
Be interesting to see.
Yeah, so I am a bit gutted that this has happened, and just because I would have liked to see the Undisputed Era get called up all together, really.
Yeah, I think a lot of people said they weren't going to happen, and I want to say it's not surprising, but I think they would have been good up on the main roster. But
yeah, but would there have been though? Because there's that many times we think.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. Finn Balor's going to be on Raw, and then. I mean, he did get injured. He could have had a huge push, but when he came back, they didn't really do anything with him, and it's just a bit annoying. WWE sometimes when they bring back people, they just do it so terribly.
Yeah.
Like when John Morrison returns, he just had like a backstage segment, and it's just like, oh, come on, like he was your Intercontinental Champion for ages. Before he left, he's been around the world, travelled, been in Lucha Underground and Impact Wrestling and things, and then he comes back and he's just opening the door.
Yeah.
Just like stupid things like that.
Yep. But overall, not a bad show.
Yeah. Do you have any high points, low points? Favourite match of the show?
Favourite match? I'm gonna say the Women's Championship match.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I really did enjoy the opening match, so I think that might have been...
Yeah, I was tossing between that and the two women's matches. What I was tossing between.
Yeah, I feel like that's normally like a consistent thing we say when we review NXT.
Sorry, the women's or the
yeah,
matches?
No, the women, potentially both, really.
Yeah, that's true. What about low points?
Maybe just the what were you doing?
I'm just mocking you.
It's not very nice. Maybe just the slow start to Balor and Dunn, and it never really getting out of second gear for me.
Yeah,
as much as I did enjoy it, like the finish of it, and obviously the aftermath of it. I just wish it could have got into like a faster paced gear, but maybe that's us being more.
We like those kind of matches.
I feel like the slower style is more like 90s style. And now we've evolved into this faster style, so we just expect it all the time, maybe.
That's true. Yeah, I agree. I didn't enjoy that match particularly, so that would be my low.
Because I remember when I was a kid, I used to watch WCW, and I was more about like the storylines and things like that. And so probably more like the slower matches as well. And then I had a friend come over, and I was like, "Oh, you want to watch some wrestling?" Because he'd never seen wrestling before. And the first match was like, it was like a cruiserweight match, and like I didn't really pay much attention. And he was like, "Who is this guy?" I was like, "Oh, that's from like Rey Mysterio." He's like, "Why don't you pay more attention to this?" And that kind of like, "Oh, well, he likes it." That's kind of what made me
have a look at it
more. Yeah, because I mean, I would watch it, but like I'd probably watch matches like when I was playing with my wrestling figures and other things. Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing.
You were smirking.
I was trying not to yawn, to be honest.
Charming.
Oh, did you want me to do a massive yawn again?
A massive yawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that is all from today's podcast show. If you did enjoy today's episode, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. On Saturday, the next podcast is going out. It's going to be us reviewing Elimination Chamber 2017. So on that card, there is Mickie James, Becky Lynch. There is Natalya, Nikki Bella. There is obviously Elimination Chamber match in the main event. It's Cena, Bray Wyatt, Baron Corbin, The Miz, AJ Styles, and Dean Ambrose.
That was a struggle.
That was a struggle, yeah. I was kind of worried that I said the name twice, to be honest.
You didn't. I remember.
So yeah, make sure you check us out on for Saturday for that podcast show. So this has been The Man
and The Wife
Podcast. Thank you for watching.